It is quite popular with house hydroponic growers as well, mainly because of its fairly simple design. However, NFT systems are best suited for and most commonly used for growing smaller, quick-growing plants like different types of lettuce. So, along with growing lettuce, in some commercial growers also grow different types of herbs and baby greens using the NFT. So next is the water culture system. Water culture system are about the simplest of all the 6 types of hydroponic systems. While technically simple, they are still very effective for growing plants hydroponically. Not only do a lot of home hydroponic growers like using water culture system, but many commercial growers use this type of system on a large scale as well. Mainly because the water culture system is a simple and easy concept. It is also a very inexpensive type of system to build, and another reason why it's popular with home growers as well. Even though the concept is simple, there are plenty of imaginative ways to use and build water culture systems out of the different materials. Now, the aeroponic system. While the concept of aeroponic system is quite simple, it's actually the most technical of all 6 types of hydroponic system. However, it's still fairly easy to build your own basic aeroponic system. And a lot of home growers like growing in them such as well, and even get a really good results using this type of hydroponics. So, like with any other type of hydroponic system, you can use many different kinds of materials to build it, as well as many different types of design setups to fit in your space. You're really only limited by the space you have in your imagination. And in the last of the system is the wick system. It is the simplest of all 6 types of hydroponic system. That's because traditionally it doesn't have any moving parts. Thus, it doesn't use many pumps or electricity. However, some people still like using an optional air pump in the reservoir because it doesn't need electricity to work. It's also quite useful in places where electricity can't be used or unreliable. So that are about the gardens. Now, let's focus to the modern agricultural tools. So first of these tools is the cultivator. The size and design of amplifiers remove weeds without damage the plants and the plant to fit around all the barriers available. Loosening the top 2 inches of soil to grow plants, giving them room to strengthen. The two can cause negative effects. First, loosen soil dormant weed seed to germinate is to be encouraged. Another negative effects of loosened soil particles, adding weight and pressing down on the ground. The compacting can oxidize and hard. After cultivating, mulching is one way to counter the negative effects of both. So next is the thresher. The threshing machine was invented by Scottish mechanical engineer Andrew Meikle. It separates the grain from the stalks and husks. For thousands of years, the grain from the 18th century to about 1/4 of agricultural labor, flails are separated by hand and was very laborious and time-consuming. The process of mechanization farm labor was a big fact. The grinding mill and threshing the grain to get the customer is just the process. The wheat, then cut, stooped, hulled, threshed, and grain binding bales hauled to the elevator, and the chaff needs to be ground. So next is the rotavator. Rotavators often used in gardens and gardening, powerful pieces of machinery. Staking and broken fields churns and aerate the soil. Just use a set of blades or rotavators despite the spinning and break ground. So this improves drainage, level the area, and make land for growing vegetables and crop in full. So next is the rip binder. The rip binder was on the update of farm equipment. The binder was invented in 1872 by Charles Warrington. So in addition to crop small grain crops, it is also a small space or to tie the stems into sheaves. The sheaves threshed the grain for several days for being allowed to dry, resembling small teepees, conical and stooks, shacks was. Warrington originally binder used wire to tie up the space. Next is the moldboard plow. The plow sowing the seeds for the preparation of land for the cultivation or of early farming or planting, soil to loosen or use tool or machine. Plows, bull or a horse or a camel, or in the modern is the tractor or any other animals drawn. A plow can be made of wood or iron. The history is the most basic equipment, and agriculture as one of the major advances. Exploitation, the primary purpose of burying weeds, fresh nutrients to the surface. On the ground level is turned on. The previous crop remains and the crop weed seed, both of which allows them to break. It also aerates the soil, holds moisture better, and to allow alternative crop for planting the seed that provides free medium. Next is the disc plow. A disc harrow the crop is planted where the land is used for farming or farm equipment. It is also undesirable weeds or crops are used to chop up reminders. It has a lot of iron or slight concavity and are arranged as 2 of 4 sections contains of steel disc. Viewed from above, the 4 sections has been flattened to be wider than its tall. The X setting will display, but They are not parallel to the direction of the overall disk appliance that is offset. They cut up a little bit to optimize the outcome of this slice of land. Disk is being offset their concavity and loosen them and cause them to cut the soil. So next is the land leveler. Levelers is a simple and rugged implement which is directly fitted to a tractor. It is basic implement for leveling of land. Very useful for agricultural purposes, useful for flood irrigation. So in weed control, it improves water coverage on better land leveling, reduce weeds by 40%. This results in less time for weeding crops and weeds. Now, and farm operation. Lesser leveling of fields to use as possible, increase the area of agricultural fields and increase operational efficiency. Farmers to increase cultivation by 10 to 15% of the option to reduce operating time. Now, in the last of these equipment, and it is the most useful, is the tractor. A tractor is an engineering vehicle specifically designed to deliver a high tractive efforts at a slow speed. For the purposes of hauling a trailer or machinery used in agriculture or construction. It is most commonly, the term is used to describe a farm vehicle that provides the power and traction to mechanize agricultural tasks, especially tillage. But nowadays, a great variety of tasks agricultural implements may be towed behind or mounted on the tractor. And the tractor may also provide a source of power if the implement is mechanized. So, modern agricultural revolution's technology allows much greater production or surplus with less human labor. But it has a high social and environmental cost. Metal plows, reapers, cotton gin tractors, or also known as the internal combustion engine, combines chemical pesticides or fertilizer hybrid crops, the green revolution, genetically modified crops. Now, why modern agriculture is important? So, according to research, by 2050, the world's population is expected to grow to nearly 9 billion. So, while the ratio of arable land to population continues to decrease. Now, modern agriculture enables farmers to utilize new innovation. Research has specific advancement to produce safe, sustainability, and affordable food. More people to the world overset more and better because of modern agriculture. It increased production, continues to enable steadily improving diets, reflecting increased availability of all foods, dietary diversity, and access to high-protein food products. So that would be all in my report. Thank you for watching. Hope you understand something.